Hi, how's everybody doing? It's another blog update. I want to talk about right now what's happening in South Africa. I guess the new president of South Africa is saying he wants to take the land of white farmers and then give it to black South Africans. All right, this is exactly what they did in Zimbabwe, and it was a complete disaster. It was a total disaster in Zimbabwe. This is socialism. It always ends in disaster. It always does not work, and now they're going to try to do it in South Africa. It's just devastating. It's absolutely terrible. I'm going to show you the article in just a minute, but this is just an absolutely terrible, horrific thing to do. You know what they're going to wind up doing if South Africa goes move forward with this, and they follow Zimbabwe. All right, they will turn their country into Zimbabwe or Venezuela. You know, a socialist cesspool where everything collapses and society collapses. And here's what will happen. The socialist government will get tons and tons of money. They will seize the land of the white farmers, all right? The socialist government will seize the land of the white farmers. Some of it they will give to, you know, poor and middle class black South Africans. Some of it will be given to them, all right? But the majority, the socialist government will take for themselves. And then the politicians won't know how to farm it, so the politicians will just leave the land vacant, not farming it, just leaving it there, not doing anything with it. And then the food production will collapse, and the country will start to collapse. It happened in Zimbabwe, and now South Africa is going to go that direction. It's just absolutely horrendous. Already, since I believe in the last 20 years, they said hundreds of farmers have been murdered on their land, which is just absolutely disgusting. It's one of now the most dangerous professions in South Africa to be a farmer on the land, because they're just being murdered by the dozens every year. I'll show you the article in just a minute. But this is what happens when you vote for socialist. This is exactly what happens when you vote for socialists and communists. This is what they do. And the thing is, the average black South African will not get ahead. They will still be ultra poor. They will not get ahead. All right? What will wind up happening is they will get poorer and poorer too. All right? So the middle class white farmers collapse and they have their land stolen by the government. They will collapse. They will get dirt poor. That is true. But the poor South Africans, they will not get better off. They will stay poor as well. And then the socialist government will consolidate all that wealth in the middle class, and the socialist government will have all that wealth for themselves. That's how it always works. And then the socialist government will be driving in Mercedes. They'll be driving in, you know, fancy cars. They'll have like $1 million estates all over the place. The socialist government will consolidate all the wealth for themselves. The middle class farmers will lose everything. And then your average black South African that is struggling, they will not get better off. They will actually get poorer. They will get poorer, and when it's all said and done, they will be poorer than they are now. And then the filthy rich socialist elite government types, they will get just massive wealth. Socialism is sick. It is utterly sick. It is utterly disgusting. You look at Venezuela, you look at North Korea, you look at all these socialist countries, you see the same thing every time. They gut the middle class. They destroy the middle class. They tell the poor people they're going to get free stuff. They do give the poor people some free stuff, but overall the poor get poorer. Overall the poor get poorer. The middle class totally collapse. And then the filthy rich socialist elites at the top, they get all the money, they get all the wealth. It's totally sick. So I'm going to show you the article right now. All right, so here's the article right here. All right, so this is from Breitbart. I'll give you the link right now, if my camera will focus. All right, well, here's the article. It's Zimbabwe 2.0. South Africa's new president vows to seize white farms without compensation. So he just wants to steal the land of the white farmers and not even give them money, not even give them compensation for land, just take it outright. This is utter communism, this is utter socialism, and it will end in total disaster because it always does. So this is the link. It's from Breitbart. And this is exactly why we must fight socialism so much, because it's just an evil, evil system where you have a few socialist elites at the top. They get all the wealth, they get all the money, and then they become tyrants at the top. They become just vicious, vicious tyrants at the top, and we have got to stop this mentality.